what it is, you've got a telescopic handle here. If you turn that, you can lengthen the pole like so. What it does, you push it up into this like that, and then like a light bulb, you turn it a quarter of a turn, and then it drops it and then locks itself in. And then you wind it out like so.
You can stop at any point if you want to.
You can, yeah. So I'll get that one. So what they say, bring it about 1 metre out, and then you pop your legs down, just so you're not putting too much strain on it.
Hi Dan, nice to see you.
You and you good?
This is my son Matt.
How are you doing, Matt? Okay.
What it does, it puts less strain on these big arms here. You don't need all the weight on them. Bring the legs down. You've got this little bit here. You just you slide that like that, and then the leg drops out like so. And then you can slide it down like that. And then you lock it in place with this little plastic clip here, like that. That locks it in place. And then what they say, wind it the rest of the way out. One of you wind it, and somebody pulls the legs out. It just takes all the strain off them legs. What you've got inside, you've got some pegs, like a tent peg, so you can peg it down as well if it's a bit windy. Obviously in high winds you don't want to have it out because you can topple over and damage it.
So when you're unwinding, you move it one leg down, put both of them
No, put both of them down again, it just takes the weight off both them big arms. Last thing you want is to be breaking the arms. What these do, when you put it all the way out, they go into these notches here. You see there's a bit of plastic on the end here. That goes into one of them there. Again, it just strengthens up again. So that's what they do.
Okay.
And again, they just sit inside there, like so. Toilet. So inside, to get this out, this is obviously where all the waste goes. So you lift that up, you slide it out, and then this handle is telescopic as well. So you can wheel it about when you want to take your waste away.
Now how much glue would you normally put in? And how much water? Do you put water in to start with, or do you just put glue in?
What we normally do is we put glue in the bottom with a bit of water while you're driving around, so then it sloshes around and it cleans it all up. Again, I think it says on the packet. I think it's only about a cup or so of it, like the cap of it, and then you put a bit of water in, about a quarter of that or something, and then let it slosh around. That way it cleans it out while you're driving along. What happens on the inside, there's a light on the toilet. When this gets full, it will illuminate to tell you that you need to empty this.
Okay, that's good. Oh, thanks very much, Dan. Thanks.
In emptying this, you undo that one there, like that, and then you press that button there. So that allows air to go in and it flushes it all out.
So it all comes out here?
Yes, it does, yeah. So and then you press that
take
button
it to the
designated area.
And obviously you would tip it.
Yeah. So you open that one, press that one, it forces air in and gets rid of all the bad stuff. And then when you pop it back in, just make sure that's nicely seated inside there. And you're good. In the olden days you had a pink fluid as well, but you don't need that. Basically yours is filled up with fresh water all the time, so it's off your onboard water tank. That holds 120 litres, so that does all your taps and everything, and it also supplies this. In the olden days they used to have their own tank on the toilet, so they've done away with that now. That has a little cap over it like that. Locks up like that. You guys to worry about behind there. One thing to be aware of though, don't let these get blocked up with leaves and all that in the winter. Basically what it does is the fridge, it takes its air in from the bottom and it comes out the top. It's like an air cycle. So if it gets blocked up, the fridge won't work as it should do. That's one thing to be aware of. You can get winter covers, so if it's really cold you can get winter covers just so it keeps the heat in the back there a bit better. They don't come as a standard, but you can get them if you want them. That's all there is for the back of the fridge really. inside here's your gas. So again, it's nice and simple really. You've just got a pigtail straight onto your gas bottle. One thing to be aware of is that opposite lock with this gas fitting. So as normally you tighten it by turning it clockwise, anti-clockwise is tightened now.
Yep.
This here's your gas regulator. Obviously what comes out of here is really high pressure. All this does regulates it down to 30 millibar. I mean, that probably means nothing to you, but it just means it lowers the pressure so the appliances can work.
Yeah.
You've got your gas bottle straps here, so you can strap your bottles in.
Can you strap 2 bottles in or only one?
You can strap 2 in, yeah, there's one there and one there.
So we need to buy a second one, don't we, before we set off?
Yeah, this one's just a demo one as well, so this little cap here is not for you to worry about, that's just when we do gas tests.
So what type of gas
will
does
you
it?
install 2 for us, or do we?
We can do, yeah. If you talk to Dan about it after we're done, I can pop 2 on for you.
Thank you. I do want 2.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. So what gas is it? Right, propane. You can fit butane. I would recommend fitting propane. The only reason is butane freezes at about 0 degrees. So if you go below 0 degrees, you're not going to have any gas on your van. This freezes about -37. So.
Okay.
I think gas is going to be the least of your worries if it's that cold.
Yeah.
So propane's the one that you go for, yeah.
Yep.
What you do is there's a little handle here. Yep. This is for your wastewater, so what's gone down your sink, your shower and stuff like that.
Okay.
All you do is you pop that on there.
Yes.
Turn it quarter of a turn, and then the water.
Clockwise or
anti-clockwise to drain it. And then it'll come, the water will come out here.
Yep.
And that, obviously there's designated areas where to put your wastewater as well. But again, it's nothing too deadly. It's just what's gone down your sinks and your shower. So.
Yep.
So you can trickle it if.
Yeah.
I think my neighbours trickle theirs.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of people do. It's never too deadly. One thing to be aware of: don't down your sinks. And I know it's hard, but don't go chucking too much food and grease and all that down it, because there's a level sensor inside there. What it does, if you get too much grime on it, it starts reading erratically on the control panel. So a good way, I mean, you could take them out, we could take them out and clean them, but we've got to drop the tanks and everything to get to it. So they're a bit of a pain, but yeah, just try not to chuck too much stuff down it really. A good way to clean that as well, you can get a waste tank cleaner. You can get that from the shops, go outdoors, here, wherever. Put that down the sink, and again fill it to about a quarter of a tank full, and then while you're driving, let it slosh around and then empty that out. That gives that a good clean as well. I know some
that's just like a chemical product, is it?
It is, yeah.
Right.
Some customers use cheap cola, Coke. They put that in the tank because it's slightly acidic. So as that sloshes around, it gets rid of any grime off or everything. So I know a lot of customers that recommend that. So
What was that called?
Coca-Cola.
Oh.
Because it's slightly acidic.
Cheap
cheap Coke. And then just let it slosh around and empty that out as well. I don't know how good it is, but a lot of people swear by it. So it's one of them. So this is your fresh water tank here.
Yes.
Holds 120 litres. What it does, you've got a hose pipe.
Oh,
Pop that on there. Any spillage out of here comes outside the van, as opposed to down there.
Yes.
So quite an ingenious little.
It is, isn't it?
Pop these back before I end up walking off with it in my pocket. Right, so you can, if you ever need to get in and get your hand in to clean the fresh water tank, open this up and get your hand in.
But basically you don't.
You don't need to, no. You can use, again, you can sterilise the fresh water system. You can get little tablets called Pure Clean and stuff. The only thing I will say don't use is Milton's. Basically the boiler, what you've got, is called a Truma boiler. If you use Milton's on it, it breaks down the stainless steel.
Okay.
And that's the last thing you want. So you use Pure Clean tablets if you want to sanitise it, basically. Milton's is no. To drain this here, you've got a little black handle on the top there. All you do is you turn that anti-clockwise. What that'll do is it'll start draining the fresh water out underneath.
So that's if you're full up and you're about to go travelling, you don't want to have a full water tank.
No.
How much would you leave?
Well, what they've got on this tank is when you turn this, it'll start to go tight. What it'll do is that'll drain it all the way down and just leave 20 litres in the bottom, which people like to travel with 20 litres in.
Right.
If you go past where it goes tight, what you'll hear is that valve will go plunk. And then what that does is that drains the extra 20 litres out. So they leave that 20 litre bit as like a travel. So yeah, and again, it's all personal preference. You can travel with a full tank, there's nothing against it. It just fuel economy, and exactly, that's it. So again, it's completely up to you. So what if you do want to drain all your water out, turn that anti-clockwise till it goes tight, and then a bit further you'll hear it go clunk, and then you know you've emptied it all out. When you come to use it again, turn it clockwise, it'll go nice and tight, and you know you're good to go again. What you've got here, you've got a hookup cable, hookup point. So when you've got on a site with mains, it goes in through that little bit there, and you just plug it into there. If that makes sense. Yeah. Nice and easy.
So does that mean the door has to stay open, or does that actually...
No, you can close it over that, because they put that, that's what that little cut out bit's for there.
Okay.
Right, you've got to drain your water down, so the water that's in the system, in the pipe, you've got a frost valve there, and then you've got another little valve there. This valve here with the yellow handle, you just lift that straight up and that'll drain it down. This one here,
this is when you're putting it away for the winter.
it is, yeah. What this valve here does, it's a frost valve, so if the temperature in here drops below 4 degrees, it'll drop the water out the boiler to stop the boiler getting frost damage. I'm going to go see if I can find one of these. It's easier for me to show you it live as opposed to dropping the water everywhere here, because especially with it being your first one, you kind of need to know how that works. Else you're just going to have water trickling out all under the van. It won't be a second, I'll just go find the exact same as what you've got inside here. So at the minute it's like that, with that across like that, and this little button here is in. That's how you want it if you want the system running as normal. What happens if this compartment drops below 4 degrees, what will happen, that little button will pop itself out like that. So if it's below 4 degrees, that does that, drops the water out underneath the van and protects the boiler. If you're on
the whole water system, or
yes, so what's in the boiler, so you won't...
What's in the boiler, not what's in here?
No, not what's in there, just out the boiler and the system. So what it does, if you're on a site and it keeps doing that all the time because it's obviously too cold, all you have to do is put your heating on, heating only, and there's a little pipe inside there, heats this compartment up. You can come along, pop that back in and you're good to go. So that's what you do. If you want to drain down for the winter, because you're not going to use it for a bit or whatnot, all you do is you lift that little yellow handle up there, so you have that one open, and then all you do is you turn that like that, and that'll drop the water out of this one as well. And then you'll have your pump off on the inside, and then you open all your taps up and that drains it down completely for the winter. Then when you want to come use it again, you turn that way and make sure that button's pressed in, or else it will just keep emptying underneath the van. Alright, it's a bit hidden, so to release your bonnet there is a catch, but it's right down there. I probably need to get my torch. I've got my torch there, look. So that's that's how you release your bonnet. Yeah, that lifts straight up. Place like that. So it's the A-class type, which means it's an absolute pain to get to everything. So obviously, if you keep all your regular servicing with the Fiat side, you guys aren't going to have to worry too much about topping everything up. The only thing that you will need to worry about is your windscreen wash, which is there. They do make that one accessible for you.
Is it full up at the moment?
It is, yeah. And then all your brake fluid and everything's all over here. All the serviceable items are on this side, but
don't know how you're supposed to service them.
No, they're an absolute pain to get to. The mechanics love working on them. Yeah. This side, if you ever need to jump start the van, because your battery is underneath the floor in there, I'll show you when we go inside. It's a pain to get up. Well, what you need to do really is, I can't do it with my finger, you need to get a little screwdriver in there that pops this cap up, like that, and then you put your red positive onto there, and then obviously earth it off anywhere on the chassis.
Yeah.
But only jump start it if you really have to.
I won't be doing
no,
anything, I'll be calling someone.
That's it. But if you need to, that's where you do it, because you get into the engine battery is a bit of a pain. So.
Fit for everywhere,
Yes.
but
That button brings the steps in.
On him. This one here does them lights all along here, and then these lights here do various lights throughout the van. So you see that. I think if you press and hold them, it dims them as well. So you see them LEDs across the top there. If I press and hold it, they get brighter, look. And if I press and hold it again, they get dimmer. So you can dim all these lights and all the LEDs up there. You just press and hold these buttons there.
Right.
If you want to have TV in here at any point, obviously you need the aerial fitted and whatnot. You can have a TV mounted on there. This is your main control panel, so we'll go through that now. So to cycle through all these icons, you use this knob here, look. So which one you're on will illuminate, like so. So if we go to the middle, we're on that one. That's your main power on and off. So if I press that, everything goes off. Your boiler and that has its own power feed, and these lights here have a permanent feed. So your awning light and these entry lights, so if you go out, you can turn your other lights and everything off on the panel, but you'll still be able to get in if it's dark and whatnot. You'll be able to see.
so while you're travelling, you have everything off, do you?
You can do, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You can keep it on. It doesn't turn itself off when you turn the engine on. You can keep the lights on if you want. It's completely up to you guys. So if I scroll up next, that will tell you the level of the leisure battery. So when I say leisure, I mean the habitation area, so the back end battery. So it's got 13.3 volts, so it's fine, we're hooked up. The next one,
Is that being charged while we're on
it does, yeah.
mains?
So what it does, when you're hooked up to the mains, it'll charge your leisure battery, and it'll also trickle feed the vehicle battery as well.
Okay.
And the same when you're driving. So off the alternator, it charges the vehicle battery and also your leisure batteries. So if your leisure battery is a little bit low when you set off, by the time you get somewhere, it'll charge it up anyway. So
Does it really?
it does, yeah.
I just wouldn't have thought it'd be that efficient. Like
No,
that.
it's not as good, but it does charge it up well. I mean, they get good voltage through the alternator. It goes through the electrical block. I'll show you that in a minute, which split charges it.
Right.
So your vehicle battery level there,
Right.
that's on 13.2 because we're hooked up as well. The next one is the level of your freshwater tank, so 75%, it goes up in 25s.
Yeah.
The next one is the level of the wastewater tank.
What does that look like? Oh, I see, it does look like a wastewater.
It does, yeah, so the freshwater has like the open top, the wastewater has the little pipe outside, yeah. This one here is the time.
Setting the clock.
Yeah. That one is the temperature inside the van. And that one's temperature outside the
So
van.
if you wanted to change the temperature inside the van,
You do that on this panel. This is the heating panel here.
I see.
So this one is
It's
just
recording.
It's just a sensor, yeah. And then this one here is your water pump. So you can turn it on or off just by pressing this button here.
And when would you turn it off?
If you're draining down for the winter, you want it off, so you can open all your taps up and draw all the water out.
But apart from that, you leave it on?
Yeah, you can leave it on because you pump. I'll go through that when we go through the water because there's two different sorts of systems, and I'll explain all that.
Right.
But that's the basis of the control panel.
Yeah.
It's nice and easy. When you're hooked up onto your mains, this little thing illuminates up here, look, like that. If your mains goes off, that is like greyed out like these.
Yeah.
What's
Right.
the one below it? The R?
I'm not too sure off the top of my head. I'm sure it's something to do with gas, but I don't know. I don't think all models have it. I think it's just the control panels are like generic, and some models have. I think it's a heater for the gas bottle so it don't freeze up. But I will have to check it the book. I can let you know when you go and do the paperwork.
That's right.
Right. This one is the heater. So what you do, this control knob in the middle is what you select everything with. And then again you scroll through by turning this knob. So which symbol you're on will flash.
So that's the heater, in the temperature in the van.
It is, yeah. So if I turn it across to the next one, that's your water. That's like the energy selector, so your gas or your mains. And this one is the fan. So when you're on heating, how fast you want the fan to go, basically. So if I click on the first one, select it, that's how hot you want it to be in here. So if I turn it up to 30, you have to press it again to select it. And then what happens is, that starts blinking up there, which means that it's calling for the heat. What it does, when it gets to temperature, in a second, that little icon will go solid. And that tells you, like that, look.
You've got the temperature you want.
That's the temperature that you want. What you can do when the panel goes into screensaver mode like this, it'll tell you what you want the temperature to be. If you think, oh, it's a bit nippy in here, all you have to do, rather than doing that, is turn this knob here, look, and it'll put your degrees up. Once you get it to where you want it, press select again, and that's it. When we go and it goes into screensaver mode again, it's now on 29 degrees. So it's like a thermostat at home. If you just want to turn it up and down, you just turn it up and down on this knob and just select it like that.
And what do you think is a sensible temperature to keep it at generally?
It depends. Yeah. I mean, over winter and that, you can keep it as low as like 16 or something. It's going to be comfortable. It's not going to freeze up. If you have it at 30, you'll be roasting, because these are quite well insulated as well, so they do get pretty warm. So the next one along is your hot water. So if I select that, you've got off, eco, hot, or boost. So basically eco heats it slowly, gets it to 40 degrees and whatnot. Hot ramps it right up, gets it to about 60 degrees. Boost, it just boosts it for 20 minutes. So it'll just heat the hot water for 20 minutes. So again, a good one when you're on a site. It depends if you wanted to have a shower and that, keep it on hot, and then you've got hot water. And again, once you get your hot water gets to the temperature it needs to be, that will stop flashing, stay solid, and then as soon as you draw the water off, it'll start heating it back up again. The next one along is your energy select. So you've got gas, and you'll see the icons change at the top. Electric 1 and electric 2. So your gas, depending on the boiler, it's either 4 or 6 kilowatts. So it's your most efficient way of heating the van up. Your electric is 2, which is 2 kilowatts. So it'll get, if you've got it running on the mains, it will get hot, but a lot slower than it will on gas. The way that Truma designed this heating system to work, if you get up to a site and it's cold, run it up on gas to start with, and then switch it over to the mains to maintain the heat. That's how it's designed to be worked. There's nothing wrong with just running it on mains.
No, sorry, it's a question for later.
Okay. And then you've got your fan speed, which is your eco, which ramps up and down depending on the heat of the boiler, and then you've got high, which will just belt hot air out. The best one to keep it on is eco, because it ramps it up and down. You can set timers and everything, so the heating comes on at certain times. I don't normally go into that. Again, it tells you in the book how to do it. That one is to set the clock, and then that's just your settings and all that. When you're hooked up on the mains, that symbol comes on there. If you ever get a fault with it, what it'll do is there'll be a little triangle comes up there. If you scroll onto that, select it, it'll come up with a number. If you get that number, you can ring us and we can tell you what that represents, because we've got a list of fault codes. There are basic ones inside the handbook, so if it's something like no mains or something, you think, oh, just forgot to turn the mains on or whatnot. So it does tell you the basic fault finding. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Obviously it's a lot to take in, I appreciate that.
Well, I say, having done the week in the Geist, you know, it's all...
Was that a Truma heater as well?
Well, it was the same as that, except it was above the door.
Right.
So I think it was the same.
Yeah.
It's very similar.
There's basically just two heating systems in motorhomes. You've got the blowing air one, like this one, and then there's one called the Alder system, which is like, it's got radiators around the van. To be fair, this one gets hotter quicker, and it's a lot easier to work on, so it's a good system. Right.
What's that one for?
That's just a 12 volt plug socket basically. It's the European one. You can get adapters like this, you know, like the cigar ones that you have at the front of the car and
this
whatnot.
looks a lot smaller than that.
Yeah, what you do is there are adapters that you get and plug into. They just come European standard because obviously German spec. So
yeah, cool.
And then that's a mains one. And if you have an aerial fitted, it goes onto that one there.
So there's an outlet on top somewhere?
No, they don't come as standard.
Are those USB?
Yes, they are USB charge points
so
there.
Bang.
Yep.
Plug your phone in there and
you can,
a little slot.
Yep.
That's good.
So,
but what you can do, if you think you need a bit more light on this rail here, you can actually take these lights off there, and then you can plug them onto there like that. Yep. So you can move them around the van as you want.
Nice little feature.
Yeah. And then the same on the back as well, because you've got some in the back end as well. So you can move them ones forward, them ones back, depending on how you want them. Underneath here is your boiler. I mean, I could take it all off and show you if you want, but if you're not too bothered, you can have a look at your own leisure. There's nothing really for you guys to worry about under there. You've got your hatch in the floor.
That's just to choose what you put in there.
It is, yeah. Slippers, shoes, whatever you can find to fill it with. And again, you've got storage inside this one here. Inside there. You can access that as well by taking this cushion off and lifting a flap up as well. So all you do is take the cushions off. That one just slides off. And then you've got that lifts up like that.
Oh, right.
All these pipes are them brown pipes, that's the blowing air for the heating. So that's that pipe work that I was saying, blows the heating around the van.
Yep.
Water pumps on. Right, so in here you've got your gas valves. So every appliance has its own individual gas valve. That one's your oven, that one's your hob, that one's your fridge, and that one's your water heater. If you ever suspect you've got a problem with one of them, all you do, you turn the valve like that and that turns it off.
Yep.
And then
But
you
apart
turn it
from
back on.
that, it's on all the time.
Yeah. Again, it's personal preference. You shouldn't really drive with gas turned on. Not with this system.
So do you have to turn those all off?
No, turn it off at the gas bottle. So just turn the gas bottle off. But again, it is preference. Some people do drive with these off. But if you've got your bottle off, you've got no gas anyway. So I don't. But again, it's personal preference. If that makes sense.
Yes. So how does the fridge stay cold while you're driving then?
What it does is there's a setting on there, so that runs off the alternator as well. So like the charging, I said that when you're driving, so I'm guessing this will be very similar to the Geist one. You just press the turn, press it down, ignite it, leave it a couple of seconds, like so, and then you can turn it up and down as you want to. Obviously there's different size burners. Obviously the small one, but they all get hot. One thing to be aware of, if you've been cooking for a while, don't put the glass lid down for a bit, because obviously if it's still hot here, it can shatter. We do see it a few times, so just leave it for half an hour or whatever, just until you can touch it and you think that's okay. Water. So what you've got to do with the water, obviously your water pump's got to be on. And then what it does, as soon as you open the tap, that's what kicks the water pump in.
Right.
So I was saying there was two types of system. There's a pressure system, and then this one's what they call a micro switch system. What happens is with a pressure system, the pump keeps going until the pressure's there. So what happens if a pipe bursts, for example, it will keep pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping because the pressure will never build up. With this one, the pump's not going to come in until you open the tap up. So if forever a pipe does ever go, it's not going to pump unless you have this open. So again, it's going to stop your van getting full of water. If you're out and a pipe goes, you may see a little bit of water, but if you had the other system, it will just completely fill the van full of water. So it's a lot better. So you've got your hot on one side, and you feel that's already getting warm, and then that side is your cold, and you've got your plug there. Does that make sense?
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. This one's your oven. I don't think you'll get a Christmas turkey in there, but so what you've got, this button there, if you press it in, that does your igniter, so it's automatic.
So the oven is only gas, is it?
It is, yes.
Yeah, you can't use electric.
No. So what you've got, if you turn that to the right hand side like that, and then press it in a second, you'll get gas coming out, and this will be the grill. I'll take a second because that's it. So that's the grill there. So that when you're grilling, you keep the door like that. So you can see there that that's all lit. If you turn it to the middle, it's off, and then turn it down, that will light the oven. Like so.
The Carthago hasn't got an oven.
Has it not?
No. Even though it costs double what this costs.
Yeah, no. It's always odd, like some of them that come and they're really expensive and they don't have the things that you think they were, the basic stuff. You think, oh wow.
Well, apparently the Germans only barbecue, so.
Right, yeah. So yeah, and then off again. So you got your little pan here as well.
You've just got the two shelves you can use.
Yeah. So really, not nice and easy for you.
Well, nobody's going to spend their holiday cooking.
No. What you've got here is your mains trip switches. So, you know, like in your house and whatnot, if the mains trips out, that's where you reset it there. It shouldn't do. The one thing to be aware of on some sites, they do have on the posts like a trip limit. Yeah. So some of them will be, for example, 10 amp. So if you think you've got your boiler on the 2 setting, number 2 on the electric, that's pulling 8 amps already. So then if you start putting kettles and whatnot on, it can soon trip that post out. So on some sites you just got to be careful what you use, and that's all. You will get a bit of a smell from the oven to start with. Obviously it's new and you do get a bit of a smell. Don't be alarmed. They do smell quite bad, but it will be fine. Fridge inside there. It's a nice tall fridge for you. So inside there you've got your freezer. That pulls down like so. And you've got your little ice cube tray in there. You've got your little slide out tray. That's the first time I've seen one of these fridges. It's a new one. And then you slide out there. That one slide out. That's cool. So it's got like a little runner for that, so it doesn't just come flying out. But it also give it a little bit of a push to get it back. Oh. So to turn it on and off, you use this power button here. So you press and hold it, that little green light will go out, and then press and hold it to turn it back on. To check what you're on, you just press that button there. So these are your power selector, and this is your temperature. So if I press and hold the middle button, that starts flashing low. So this one here is your mains. That one there is your 12 volt. It looks like a battery, but that's the one that works when you're driving. That one's your gas. So again, you press it on that, it ignites itself, goes through a cycle. And then there's the A for automatic. That's still, yeah. So if you click it onto that one, to select what you want, press the middle button again, and then it's just how cold that you want it. So obviously, the less amount of lights that are on, the warmer it'll be. The more lights that are on, the cooler it'll be, if that makes sense. And then again, you just select it, and then that's it.
So on automatic, if you're hooked up, it will be on electric.
It will.
And as soon as you set off on your journey, it'll go on to gas.
Well, as soon as you turn the engine on, it'll go on to the middle one, so the little battery symbol. One thing to be aware of, if it's that battery, if you select it yourself, it's not going to run off the leisure battery. It won't work. you have to have the engine running.
Right.
So a lot of people will get caught saying, my fridge isn't working on the battery. It won't, it will never work. It's only when you're driving that works. If you've got it on automatic as well, if you're driving, obviously next when you stop, it's going to go to gas if you don't hook it up straight away.
Yeah.
There is a 15-minute delay from it going to the battery to the gas.
So you stop for lunch, and the fridge goes off for 15 minutes, and then goes on the gas, and then you set off again, and it goes back to
Basically, the only reason it does that is so if you're filling up with fuel, you've not got a spark in a fuel station. It's what they do that for, a safety device. You can override it by just coming in and obviously changing it and putting it on gas yourself. If you hook up to the mains, it will go straight to mains anyway. Alright?
Yeah.
Up here, again, you've just got storage. If you did have a TV aerial or what fitted in the future, that's generally where it would go.
Right.
And again, you've got more storage there.
Does it go there? From there?
Yeah.
Must be a coffee machine.
It does, yeah. You can slide it out like so.
Or anything else you want.
Yeah, that's it. You've got a main socket up there as well. So, perfect for a coffee machine if you've got one. Push it back up. These roof lights here, to get them up, you just press that button there, and then you grab the handle, and then that goes up like so. If it's a bit windy, what you can do with the smaller ones is you've got these little catches there. All you do, a bit tight to start with, you put that into there, and then you fasten them down. That locks it in place so it's not going to take off.
Can you drive with those?
No. Drive with them. No, drive with them down. No. Or else you'll probably see it bouncing behind you. Yeah. And then when it's down, make sure it's properly underneath there. Yeah. Else again you'll hear it flapping around. On all the blinds, when they're new, they're always really tight. You've got your blind and your fly screen. So, one thing to be aware with the blinds on the windows and stuff, try not to drive with them down and keep them down all the time. What it does is if you keep them down all the time, a lot of people drive and they have these up like that all the time, so it's completely dark in the back. But what it does is this remembers where it is, so as soon as you start to put it all down, it'll just all go all wavy and it'll just be horrible. They won't go down well. So the best way is to keep them down like that. That way it remembers its position. It like all combined together. If you keep it slack and open, when you come to put it down, it just like pops out. So it's a little bit of a tip for you. Yep. Shower room. So did you want to come around this way?
Sure.
So inside here you've got your toilet. So the toilet does actually swivel like so. Yep. So you can swivel that bit, and then to flush it, you press that blue button there. Once the cassette's full of waste, that light there will illuminate red. Yeah. So it's nice and easy. I'm saying it's the same as the guide, I think. Yeah. And then you've got your little slider at the bottom there, which empties it out. Yeah.
So sorry, do you do that each time you use the toilet?
Yeah, you do, yeah. So you open that slider because it gets rid of whatever's inside there.
Just opens the...
Yeah, just opens it into the cassette so you get rid of all your waste.
And then you can flush.
Yeah.
I haven't used this like this before.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting down using the toilet.
Yeah.
Do I open that before I sit down?
You could do.
Some people do, yeah. Again, it's a preference again of how you do it.
Okay.
Most people just do the business, empty it out, and then flush it all out and clean it out like that.
Right. Shut the door.
And then shut the door. The problem is if you've got the hatch open, smell's coming back up while you're doing your business, if that makes sense.
Right.
Except that there's no smell because the blue in the
That's
base box is so effective.
Yeah. Then you've got a lot of storage up there. That's just the book. Let's get the book back. And then that's a bit of the blue aquachem there, they give you a bit. And there's a main socket there as well. We'll pop that in your book pack for you. That little orange thing there, you don't need to worry about that, it's just a restrictor. So if the water pressure is really high, it restricts it, helps it. If you have high water pressure, what it does when you flush it, it just squirts it out all over. Yeah. Underneath there, again, you've got more storage and your toilet paper holder.
Oh, that's nifty. The toilet paper pops out of that.
It does, yeah.
Slot. Oh, isn't that grand?
Tap there. So you open it up again, water drops out like so. It's kind of like the waterfall effect tap. And then it drains away. Like so. Obviously this all swivels round to make your...
This is what I've been telling Matt, he hasn't
shower.
seen this.
So it does, that comes around like so. Slots around like that.
Cool.
And then you've got your shower here, your riser rail there, and then you've got your whole shower space there as well.
Very nice. How did you release the back?
Just a little finger clip.
But you've got, there's a little clip there, look.
Yeah.
You press that in,
yeah,
and then just pull it around like so.
Nice.
And again, shower tap. As soon as you open the shower, it comes out. I don't know if you've showered in one before. But
I didn't. No.
The way they suggest to do it is, because obviously you've got a limited amount of hot water. It's about 15 litres in the boiler. So what they suggest to do: wet yourself up, turn the tap off, then soap yourself up, and then wash yourself off, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
rather
that way,
than leaving it running.
That's it, because if you leave it running, eventually you'll get a shock because it'll turn very cold. So that's the way they suggest to do it. And then you've got 2 plugs in there as well. The plugs basically stop smell coming back up from the wastewater tank. So you just pop them in while you're travelling, and that stops any bad smells coming back up. That won't work for you. And you've got your little shower curtain here as well, which is just on a press stud, and it comes along like so. And there's a little magnetic catch at the top, and then so it goes around like so. Right, so the back here, obviously we've got it set up in the bed position at the moment. So these 2 cushions are removable. So what this one does, it hooks in over the side like that. So when you remove it, like that, you can take that one out of the way. It frees up this room here to walk around in, and then you've got a bit of storage inside there as well. These come out like so. That one slides out, and this one is your wardrobe. So you've got wardrobe space in there.
Hanging space, hasn't it?
Yeah. You've got a little light in there as well, so, and your hanging rail there.
And the bottom step pulls out.
It does, yep.
To create
that step there. Creates your 2 twin beds, if that makes sense. And again, you can store bits and bobs in there as well. When you want to put that back, you just press that little black bit there.
Sorry, press what?
You've got that little black bit there, look.
Yeah.
You press that back, and that stores it back there. You've got 2 ladders, one for the back bed, one for getting up into the front bed. I'll drop that down in a minute and show you that one. Again, you've got more lights at the back here, like so, and they're the ones that you can twist off and take where you like. And they got more light switches. Windows are nice and easy. There's no button to press on these ones, so you just open them up, and they're on a ratchet, so you can hear the ratchet. If you want to put it down, just go past where it ratchets, and it will drop down. again, I make it look easy, but you'll find you'll eventually get the knack of it, and you'll just be. These do drop down. What they've got is chosen the most difficult one to get to. You've got a little slider there, look. What that does, once you pull that down, drops them down like so. And then when you want to put it back up, you just slide that back up to the top. And then that holds it there. So back end, you could have another TV put here. You've got more points here there. But you've got another 12-volt socket and another main socket there. And you've got your storage up here. Like that. So that's the one that does your turning of the chair. Position. Right, we'll go through the. Did you want to jump into the passenger seat, and we'll go through the cab side? Right, I'll just slide back a bit. Right, so what
you can use my phone if you want to.
Yeah,
so what you can do is your radio. If you're on a site and you're all hooked up and everything, you can use your radio on a site or whatever, because it's wired to your leisure battery as well, so you're not going to drain your battery down. That's on that switch there, so you can listen to the radio while you're on when you're on a site as well. And again, it comes on through ignition as well.
So when you're driving,
yep,
and you put the radio on,
yeah,
that you don't need to do that.
No, I'm sure it comes on with just. It's just ignition on it and turned on. Like that. So it's when the engine's running, basically. So then you've got your navigation and all that on there. I'll show you that.
Okay.
I'll turn it off because it's hard for us to hear, and I'll show you it all with it just in that position.
Okay.
That's your little light there that I was on about when your electric steps out. Yep, that's it. And then you've got your cruise control and your speed limiters on your third stalk there. So that one, if you turn it up, that's your speed limiter. So it won't go above that. And then down is your cruise control, basically.
Yep.
So it'll sit at that. And you just alter it by pressing it up and down. This button here, is basically if you're going up a hill and you've got like a lot of weight in the back. What it does, it kind of alters the ratio between the gears, so it gives you a bit more up a hill, if that makes sense. So you're not struggling up a hill. You can rev a bit longer, if that makes sense. It allows for that excess weight in the back, so you're not going to be struggling going uphill with excess weight in it.
So you can just press that at any time.
Yeah, that's it. It's just for excess weight. So here's your navigation. To find it, you just put your address in, and you, I think in town, you can put your postcode in there.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that actually.
You have to put the space in on this one.
Oh,
So
right.
that one there's the space, that's it. So then you just click that one, and then you can put a house number in if you want.
I think by the time we get there we know it.
Yeah. So then you just hit select town, and then you just hit go. Okay, and then it'll plan your route.
Now, Dan said that it knows the width of the vehicle and will only take you on
Yeah.
routes that are acceptable.
Yeah. that's it. And then obviously, and as soon as it goes into that, all you hit is go, and it'll start navigating you.
And we're classified as a lorry.
Yeah. And then it starts like so.
What's the height of the vehicle in terms of going under anything that has a barrier?
What the actual height of it itself, I'm not sure. I'd have to measure it.
I have been told.
You've been told of it, yeah.
But I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know it's 6.9 long.
Yeah, they should have popped it in here for you. But off the top of my head, I'm not entirely sure. Dan will probably know the height of it, to be honest.
As long as it's all been set.
Yeah, they'll have put it all in there for you. So if you go back, you've got a DAB radio, normal radio, you've got the Bluetooth audio, so you can connect your phone up, and then it's got the Spotify thing on it as well. This one does allow for CD as well.
What's a CD?
Yeah.
I've left my charger at the hotel.
Yeah, that's a nice idea anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, my car didn't even come with a CD player, so. But yeah, you can have a bit of a play with it. That's the basic ins and outs of what it does. What you can do here, that lifts up like so. That opens up, and you can pop an iPad or whatever on there as well.
Right, that's nice.
And when you put that down, put that down, that down, and then that. Don't be scared with it. You have to give them a bit to get them up. So you will have to.
You just lift it from the
Yeah,
back.
you just literally get hold behind this clip here, and you just pull it up.
Right.
It's easy for me to say. I've done it a lot. Some people, it's obviously your brand new van, you don't want to, but you do have to give them a little bit. Obviously, that's the speaker for the Bluetooth. That.
The microphone.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You got your blinds here. These blinds, they nip together in the middle, and then it all comes down like so. And then wherever you, obviously right down the bottom, it locks in.
That's much better than the Geist.
Yeah. These ones.
Does it lock when it comes back up?
Probably does when you get it high enough. Yeah, like there. That's where it's in place there. It's not going anywhere now, look. That's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
These ones are a bit more of a pain. You just got to be a bit more gentle with them. They join together with a magnetic strip in the middle, like so. When you put them back, slide them like that. Is it not sticky, that one? We'll have to have a quick look. It's like the magnet's falling off somewhere. That's okay, I'll sort that out before you go, while you're doing your paperwork anyway. I'll sort that out.
There's no magnet there at all, is
No,
there?
it isn't. It looks like it's come off. That's all right, I'll put one on when you go anyway. I'll sort that one out. Not a problem. Yeah, that's that. When you're driving, what you've got is, you'll see the end there. I don't know if you've driven the automatic before. If I drop it into first, it'll just say first like that. If I press it across again, it'll go auto 1. So the difference is, when it's in 1, it's like semi-auto, so you shift it up and down.
Right.
If you have it in auto, it's completely auto. It does it all itself. So that's the easiest way to do it. When you pop it into reverse, reverse camera comes on, like so. And then obviously when you come out, it goes back off, like so. So if you've got it on auto, it's completely auto, really. It's nice and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Your mirrors are off that one there. So So that's how you change your mirrors on that knob there. You just turn it to which one you want. Turn them all up, down, wherever you want them. Like so.
Is it just does it adjust both or just the top one?
Just the top one.
Right.
Bottom one's a fixed one. I think you can probably move it yourself if you go outside and just press on it. You can turn it.
Right.
Yeah, you got quarter of a tank of fuel in it. So it comes with. Got your cup holders. You've got your little box there. That's your navigation box there. It's got the SIM card and everything inside of it.
And that's already been inserted.
It has, yeah. It's all in there for you. And there's also the USB connector into here as well.
So that SIM card is what gives you Spotify and.
That SIM card just gives you your navigation, so it's your maps and everything on the SIM card. The Spotify and everything, I think it's just all on this. I'm not sure how it works. You probably know more than I do about the Spotify, but it's all built onto the radio. That is just for your navigation.
Right.
And then you've also got your USB, so you can play your music through your phone through that USB on there.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So where do I put my? Oh, here.
That's your another USB. That one's a charger only. That's 12-volt output. People have said as well that if you have your aircon on, that becomes like a chiller box as well. So you can keep stuff in it. It'll keep it cool inside that top glove box as well.
Right.
So that's a pretty nifty little thing. And then just got one more thing to show. You've got a tracker fitted. Obviously, I can't tell you where that is, but it's fitted. The paperwork for it's all in your book pack and everything.
So it's sort of secret where it is,
Yeah,
is it?
yeah, we're not allowed to tell you where it is, unfortunately.
Even though it's mine and I bought it.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically just for theft things. We're not allowed to say.
Is that something to do with it?
No.
No.
It's a speaker.
Speaker. Yeah, it's essentially behind the dash somewhere. I can tell. I'll tell you that. It's fitted, and the paperwork's all there.
Yeah.
Phantom.
Now,
it's been registered. Phantom of.
I'm not sure whether I've paid for it because when I looked at on my app last night,
Yeah.
it said it hadn't got any money on it. So
Okay.
I need to activate that in some way.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I'll let it down.
We've activated it our end, so
Okay.
they've tested it. It all works, and they are aware of the van.
Have I paid for it then? Maybe I have.
No, I think you probably just have to ring Phantom and pay for it or whatever
Right.
that way. Normally we just register it and customer
Yeah.
pays whatever subscription you want to pay on it, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah. I'll just show you one more thing, which is probably one of the more important things, and it's underneath your chair that you're sat on. Your leisure battery is underneath this chair. You'll probably, if you ever need to get to it, it's a pain. You have to take the whole chair and everything off. But that's where the leisure battery for the back end is, underneath there.
Under the drivers.
Yep. Underneath that seat, which is what I'll show you now, is what they call the electro block. It'll probably be easier to see it from the outside. If you get in there, you will be able to see. It's basically what they call the brains of the motorhome, the big blue box at the back. Basically, that's your charger, and it controls all the back end of the van. It's got 12-volt fuses on it as well. So if your lights, for example, don't work, there's fuses on there for that. If you ever had solar panels and whatnot fitted, you'd wire it all through that as well. So it's basically the brain of the back end of the van, really.
Right.
If anybody if you ever have a problem and somebody refers to the electro block, that's the electro block there. Because they'll often say, check the fuse on the electro block, and that's the one.
So is it, in terms of checking fuses, is that something we'd ever do? Or?
You can do, yeah. I mean, all they are is little blade fuses. They don't come with any spare, they're normally 30. The 30s and 20 amp ones on it. But if for example you're away and you need to check something, we would say check the fuse. It saves you can fix it on your holiday then or whatnot if you carry a fuse spare. That way you don't have to worry, you can still enjoy your holiday.
So what would you suggest we carry or pick up? Some 30 and 20 amp?
I'll give you some, it's fine.
Okay.
I'll put a couple in the van for you, of each. Alright?
Thanks.
Other than that, you can move the table about and whatnot and drop it down. I'll let you guys play with that, we've got water and that on it, so. But yeah.
So it's just this magnetic.
Yeah, I'll sort that out, it's not a problem.
Better check all the others then, haven't I?
Yeah, you can do, that's fine.
Yeah.
I've rabbited on long enough now,
No.
bored you to death.
Great, not at all.
You're coming with us, aren't you?
Yeah.